Hello everyone, I'm back with another rendition of my TweenService. This time it's version 3, and this one I just optimized it a little bit, made it a little bit easier to use. So as you can see here, the main create function is only about like 30 lines, when the V2 version is significantly longer. Version 3 uses a lot more object-oriented programming to make it more simple and intuitive to use. It also removes databases. If you want to be able to manage groups of tweens, you might want to use V2, although you can make your own version of a database. It's not very hard. So I'll show you how to get started with version 3. The library code will be on the screen right now and in the description. Just copy that, go to Manage Libraries, import library from ID, add. In order to create a tween with this, you'd first, we should create a variable to hold it. Let's call this my tween is equal to new TweenService dot create. Now you will see a couple of other functions here. We don't need to go over these right now. This create function will create a tween object. That's not the same thing as playing it. It'll just create an object that you can later use to tween. If you look in the parameters here, is an ID, let's say button 1 for the one we have here. Property, you may notice that unlike version 2 and 1, there is no final dimension parameter. This is because you actually submit a dictionary. So let's say you wanted to tween multiple things at once. This would make it so much easier. For example, you can put x is equal to 100, y 300, and let's go with width. So it will tween all 3 of these properties at the same time instead of having to create multiple tweens. Time, let's just say 1. Style, you go for linear for now, and the direction doesn't matter, it can be either in or out. And frames per second, the default is 30, so if you want 30, you can just not have that. The only parameters you really need to put are the ID and property. Everything else has a default, which is 1, linear, and out. So we could actually just remove these. Now, let's run this and see what happens. Nothing, because we haven't played the tween. So if we go my tween dot play, this will initialize playing the tween and actually start it. So notice here, let's make the width actually bigger. Yeah, like 1,000, so you can actually see it, and it'll play. Now another cool thing you can actually do is create a callback function for when the tween is finished. So you can do my tween, so you do .callback is equal to function, and then whatever you want here. So let's say console.log tween finished, and boom, it will print tween finished. Now there are some of the other default properties that Tween V2 had, such as skip and stop, and I'll show you how to do those. It's pretty easy. So after we play it, let's set a timeout. Then we can just do my tween dot stop. You should see here, it will just stop. Now skip, on the other hand, will skip it to the very end, like that. Now another cool thing we can do is we can actually see the state of the tween. So if we just go my tween dot dead, actually we should print it. Now if we make a function sort of like this, that'll check constantly to see if the tween is dead. We can actually see here it says false, 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 and when the tween is finished, true. So there are a couple of useful properties of my tween, such as we can print the progress out of 1. So it's my tween dot progress. You can see just how close it is to being finished. You can also see the basic properties of it, such as like time and stuff. Although you don't really need to know this. This is more for the program itself. You can see it has the time in milliseconds. So let's go over some of the other methods. There's also TweenService.tween2. This is just to make tweening positions easier. So instead of doing something like this entire line to tween button to 100, 300, instead you could just make it button 1. This is an array with x being 0 and y being 1. So 100, 300, and then all of the stuff you don't need to pay attention to. So if we actually remove these, you'll see it does the same thing. So that just makes it slightly easier. Skip all tweens will skip every single tween. Stop all tweens will stop all tweens. Get playing tweens will return a list of all active tweens. So if a tween dies, it will not show it. So if we do this, so if we do something like this, that will print the playing tweens and then wait until the tween is finished and print it again, you'll see it prints and then there's nothing there because it's dead. So that's pretty cool. And you may notice the tween info. This is just a way to create sort of a category of tweens. So if you want to apply the same time, style, direction, FPS to a bunch of tweens at once, this is how you would do it. Also, if you want to apply my Bezier curve library or any future libraries I may make, which I might, this is how you would do it. So to create a tween info, TweenService dot tween info. Time, let's put 3, style, linear, direction, out, FPS, 30, custom, we'll go over that. And then let's delete all of this information. And then let's put tween. Alright, let's see what happens. Nothing. Because we actually have to apply this tween information to the tween. So the way we do that is by using the .apply method. And then we will just pass in tween info. And then we can do .play. Oh, I forgot. Whenever you make a tween info object, you have to put new. It's just a ES5 JavaScript thing. So this should work fine. And we can actually print some information of the tween info. So let's just see what it says. It's got time, style, direction, frames per second, is tween information, the style equation. So if you want to get the style equation of linear out, you can do it there. Custom, undefined, and unpack. Unpack is just a thing for the TweenService to use. You can actually just unpack here. It basically just returns all the information because it's multiple variables. I don't think it'll work with console.log, but it works. You don't really need it. So now for the custom thing. For here, we could put any custom or any object from one of my libraries. So if I wanted to do TweenCurve will also be in the description. TweenCurve.bezier object create. Let's pass in TweenCurve x1. If you don't know what Bezier curve is, it's basically just like animating the curve. 70, 319, x2, 144, 79, 280, 318. This library is a bit outdated, but it's compatible with both versions 2 and 3. Check the version 2 tutorial if you want to use it then, like on that version, obviously. So then now when we apply it, it'll do a cool little curve. Now it is important to know that the .apply, if we print this, it'll print out the, it'll basically just print this variable. So if we log this, I just wanted to show that you could do it all in one line with new TweenService dot create. Just go button dot apply new Quint info, and that's like 0.3 quad in 30 new TweenCurve dot Bezier object create. Just pass in TweenCurve. I don't know, it's like and dot play. And although this is a massive line and it might be confusing, it will work. Although you can't really see it's a Bezier curve because it's like weird or whatever. I also wanted to show some other methods I made. So let me just create a tween. So the new method I made was just tween.pause. What this will do is it's not going to kill the tween like tween.stop. Like that. It'll stop it. So it's exactly like tween.stop, except if we set another timeout, say this one for 3 seconds, and use tween.resume and run it. So it'll stop, then it'll keep going. Other things to notice is tween.pause will set tween dot, I think it's, yeah, tween.paused to true, resume will set it to false. Tween.stop will put self.dead is equal to true. So if the tween is either permanently stopped or finished, it will be dead. So you can use tween.dead to make sure of that. You can use tween.pause to see if you just paused it, and then if you can, then if it is paused, you can use .resume to resume it. Again, check comments and description for any updates or anything like that. I doubt I'll make a TweenService V4 just because I didn't think I would make a TweenService V3, but check to see that everything in this video is accurate.